Hello, hi, what's up, and welcome to all my viewers from around the world. Magpie842 here, coming at you with a 2v2 replay, featuring spawning in the east as the allies, the American forces of SturmTigerJesper23, and the Soviet forces of HappyHeadPopper. Spawning in the west, we have the Overcommando West forces of SturmTigerJay, and the Wehrmacht forces of Kreatir One4One. A little bit of banter going on between the two teams here, which is always good to see. All's fair in love, war, and video gaming, but it's also a lot better if you have some fun doing it. So, yeah, coming at you with a 2v2 today. Going to apologise in advance. 2v2s are just, by their nature, especially in this game, a lot harder to cast. There's just all the chaos of a 1v1 multiplied by like 2 and then compounded by the fact that it's all on one map. So it's basically there's a lot going on. I'm gonna miss some key moments, but I'll try to cover the action as best I can. It's all good practice. So both forces moving out and spreading out around the map. Seems like the Max Schlepper for SturmTigerJay is coming on out into the middle here. Looks like he's going to go for the battle group of headquarters. This looks like a good position for it too. Plenty of cover around this. This in particular is going to be great, so retreating squads can then use it to help defend the position if it is in danger. So that's pretty nice. Seems like we've got a Maxim, which indicates that Tier 2 is the tech choice for the Soviet player, HappyHeadPopper. No player of our 4 here has yet chosen their commander, indicating that they're all fairly high standard. Storm Pioneers here going to catch these engineers out in the south of the map, and that's just going to be an instant fallback. Russian engineers don't really hold up well in a fight, especially against Storm Pioneers, which is why Storm Pioneers cost nearly twice as much. And so, some Pioneers here making a grab at the north. If we crack out the tactical map, let's crack out the tactical map. We see a lot of stuff going on. This is what I mean about, and this is like in like the 3rd minute of the game. This is what I mean about casting 2v2s. Tough times. So anyway, gonna do my best. Seems like we've got an MG42 coming into a defensive position into this building. Seems like it's about to relocate though. Just some sort of gentle skirmishes all around the map right now. This squad of Volks are in a nice building here. Oh, but they are going to give it up. No, they're not, sorry. Nice building here, going to get some good shots onto these riflemen who are going to get into cover, and I suspect that the riflemen with their supreme rate of fire from the Garand gonna take this fight. That's what I suspect anyway. And another little skirmish here with riflemen in a building. They're going to get hosed by this MG42, at least they should be. I wonder why that's not firing. Perhaps this hedge is actually tall enough to block line of sight, not sure. And 2 squads of grenadiers going to add to the, going to support the flanks of this MG, which is going to have to reposition around this hedge because apparently it couldn't see before. Let's see if it can see now. And that's a negative, so that MG being frustrating. The Volks grenadiers down in the south. Oh, sorry, here they are. Yep. Yeah, so the riflemen are going to win that little skirmish there. Volks grenadiers down to 3. The riflemen still on 5. And Storm Pioneers and some more Volks going to be enough to see off these conscripts. Kind of Maxim repositioning back here. North of the map, pretty much. Oh, no, I was going to say uncontested, but a fight has now started. I reckon these Pioneers are going to be able to see off these rear echelon troops, though. We'll see how that goes. Squad of conscripts coming up. They should see off the Pioneers. So, seems like the north of the map, if things stay as they are, going to fall into the hands of the Allies. SturmTigerJay has selected a commander, but only one of the 4 players to have done so far. He's going to have gone for the breakthrough doctrine. Now, I would normally spend some time going through it because it's one of the less used doctrines, but seeing as how this is a 2v2 and there's action going on all the time, I'll just leave this here. Just pause the stream or the channel if you want to review those abilities. They are there on the screen. And wow, quite the skirmish going on here. This MG42 is going to get suppressed. No, wait, riflemen moving in. They're going to that will force the fallback on that one. This Max Schlepper is still not deployed. This is stressing me. The Kubelwagen is going to suppress these riflemen. Good choice. Love the Kubelwagen. There's a good map for it as well, just because there's a lot of open space. Kubelwagens really do well when they can abuse their mobility and the fact that they can reposition in a hurry and turn that arc very quickly. This Max Schlepper is stressing me, man. It's stressing me. This is a liability sitting right here. What is going on? How much resources is it? SturmTiger's floating like nearly 800 manpower. Jeez, needs to spend that manpower. Wow. Okay. So let's. Why don't we just? So the American player. Wow. American player suffered some losses, down to just 3 squads of riflemen at the moment, and like 3 squads of riflemen, not so bad for the 4-minute 40 mark. But you normally see some rear echelons and something else. In fact, he only had 2. The 3rd one's only just come out. So I suspect he's lost a squad of riflemen and a squad of the rear echelon troops there. Grenadiers making some ground up there, but a squad of conscripts is going to steal the top victory point. So the Axis forces aren't going to have it all their way. They are pulling up a lead here, though, of a good 75 points or something like that. Yeah, 70 points. And so that's going to be really valuable, because I suspect in a game of 4 players here who seem to know each other, and they're probably of like approximately equal skill, that tends to mean that the late game gets super desperate, and like, you know, this kind of victory point margin you would absolutely kill for in the late game when you're having to sacrifice squads just to grab a victory point for a few seconds. These conscripts want to get active again. They're just sitting here idle. I'm sure they will shortly. And finally, the Schwervermacht Schlepper has deployed into the battle group at HQ, which I think is in a decent position here. Yeah, I like it. It's not super greedy. It's not super far forwards. It's just useful. And Kreatir One4One is using it to heal his troops and reinforce from as well. So that's some nice. As Jack Black would say, that's fucking teamwork. So yeah. Wow, a natural singer as ever. What am I doing casting? I should go and live the dream, man. I should start up in music. Maxim here at the back, that's going to push the Kubelwagen straight back. Kubelwagen does not respond well to Maxim fire. And what do we got here? Maxim is... These are Volks, man. I mean, that's a different squad of Volks, but this is just a good building for them. Oh, and that's a rifle grenade. And that's gonna... That and the Storm Pioneers. Nice flank. Wow, man, the Allied forces, like, the general story around the map is the Allied forces are kind of just getting pushed back a little bit. Except in the north, where these conscripts are just happily smoking or something.
Supply sector under attack.
So, yeah. Lieutenant, the choice of tech for the American player. And if we look at the forces of SturmTigerJay, he does have that Storm Officer with a few very useful abilities. He can target them, which increases damage to the opponents, to one enemy squad, but also makes them fight harder, and force a retreat of an enemy squad, super useful. Of course, if the Sturm Officer dies, all nearby friendly forces, or sorry, I should say overcommand forces, that player owns, fall back. So that can be pretty inconvenient at the best of times. Now I can hear a flump, flump, flump. Sounds like there's a 222. And there is a 222. Quick hands, Achtung, go, schnell, schnell. And, but he can't go schnell because the engine got broken by these conscripts, who are just hit and run conscripts. They're just going to dash on out of there. Wow. And now the majority of the forces, if we look at the minimap, are pretty much focused on this screen. Yeah, there's a couple in the north, a couple in the south, but this is the battle. And a flank of Volk's going to get round beside this 50 cal machine gun, which is suppressed. That's going to force it back. The guy carrying the gun gets mowed down. That's probably a squad that wants to fall back. He's going to try and deploy, oh, but a hand grenade and the fallback too late. That's a squad wipe. Now it's just down to 3 weapons. Wow, 2 Maxims though. That should be enough to see off this flank. He says, as some Panzer Fusiliers come through, now how are you going to position your Maxims? Okay, that's a nice spread. Look at the arcs on that. Very nice. But a grenade's going to come in. Oh, killing 5 men and leaving the one on pixeling health. That's a Maxim down. Here comes an AA half-track from the Americans, and that is pretty much the only thing that's going to save this battle, because otherwise they stood to lose this Zis and this Maxim. Crucial timing on this AA half-track arriving, and that's kind of issues right now. Let me just check the forces. So we do have a pack gun. Where is the pack gun? It's more or less in the right position. It needs to push forward. Just take advantage of this cover here. I would put it in this ditch here. That covers the victory point nicely. And, ooh, Lig is going to start flumping in. That seems fair, yeah, cool. Lig does good damage if it'll hit a sort of light to medium vehicle like that. 222 now repaired, and it's going to escort these Pioneers. Prioritising, as you can see on the minimap, the fuel point and not the victory point, and I like that because that's going to slow down the tech of the Allied players. And the Axis players have the other 2 victory points, so they are ahead on victory points anyway, so they can afford to go for the fuel tank. That is actually the right choice to make there. I like it. Storm Pioneer is going to erupt out this building, take out some conscripts, pull this to the fallback. Officer Kubelwagen still on patrol, the Strudelwagen here, handing it out, dishing out the dessert. As in comes the pack gun. It's kind of hesitating though. I think the right place for this pack gun, in my opinion, is in this ditch. Because that way it can see off the AA half-track from entering any relevant range around this point. Another vehicle here coming off the American player. Looks like it's the 3/4 ton ambulance. That's going to allow him to heal and reinforce, and perhaps give the Americans a bit more of a permanent presence around here, as they might look to take a fight. And I would like to see them do that, because obviously as things stand, they're going to lose. Now, capturing a position in the south, Russian forces here with conscripts and engineers. Not a lot of muscle down there, but enough to exploit the vacuum of the Axis forces. Now, you know what? This Kubelwagen, if it were just repositioned to, say, just here, that would actually be enough to see that flank off. And we've got some guards infantry coming out. Wow, oh my goodness, there's so much to cover in a 2v2. Some commanders have been chosen, 3 more. So the Axis player, Kreatir 1-1, he's gone for the Assault Grenadier Doctrine. There it is, just hit pause if you want to read that. And SturmTigerJesper, he's gone for the Airborne Company. So, oh right, okay, controversial, not going for rifles. Not going for the Elite Rifleman Commander, fair enough, excellent. So this gives him Pathfinders, he can drop in some guns, paratroopers, he can drop in a bigger gun for killing tanks. Oh, of course, the P-57 Rocket Strike. And you know what? I've seen this used in 2v2s and bigger team games quite a bit, and it's really good. Good dodge on that grenade there. Kreatir 1-for-1 showing some decent awareness and unit preservation there, some nice micro. But yeah, this P-57 Rocket Strafe, can make or break the late game for the Allies and the Axis. It is devastating, it really is devastating. Not even Tiger tanks are safe. HappyHeadPopper has gone for the quite outdated but still fairly potent guard motor coordination tactics. So he's got the T-34-85 upgrade, that's going to be really nice. He gets the chunky mortar, vehicle repair, marked vehicle, and guards. So those are all the ingredients. Let's see how they come together. Let's hope it tastes pretty good. That's a cooking analogy. No idea why. Yeah, the 222 going to have a pop at the American AA half track, but it's just bigger, beefier with better guns, and that's going to see the 222 off on very low health. A couple of LMG-42s being added to these Grenadiers. That's going to be enough for them to force back these riflemen, beating them as they can approach. Oh, I think that was a demolition charge. We just saw the raining limbs and rolling corpses here. That was a victory point which was being captured by an Axis squad, and then by the time the screen actually got here, there was just raining limbs. So I can only assume that that was a Soviet demo charge planted by those engineers that we saw there earlier as they swept through the area. Now, we've got another Allied squad just coming around, two Allied squads, I'm sorry, a lieutenant and some conscripts, taking the north of the map, and they're going to be able to just chew into this Axis territory, force some units to go north. We've got a Jagdpanzer in mid, but the main battle is still here in the middle of the map. And I'm loving the choice of the Jagdpanzer here. Loving the choice for SturmTiger. Not only is this a great map for it, but in a 2v2, you really can just afford to go for that Jagdpanzer and not even worry, because you're going to have enough infantry cover, possibly even other vehicles from your ally. Let's see what Kreatir's gone for. Just going to go check his base for tech. Seems like he's gone for, wow, all the way to escalate to Battle Phase 3. Doesn't yet have his heavy armor core, but I'm sure that'll be following, and then we'll have maybe Panthers, maybe a Brumbar. Actually, you know what, a Brumbar would actually complement a Jagdpanzer pretty nicely. Quite like that. We'll see if he goes for it, though. And he may have other plans. But wow, quite the battle going on here. Yeah, MG42 is in a good position. If you could get that into this building, push the pack gun up to this wall, that would be quite spicy. Because then the pack gun can repulse the half track, and then the MG42 takes care of everyone else. Not sure I like this Jagdpanzer positioning. Yeah, he wants to find the AA half track, but he's kind of just exposing himself to potential anti-vehicle grenade, and then he's going to have to crawl on out. And he knows it, so he's just going to reverse out. A scout car here, gonna be getting the worst end of a Maxim. I think that's a fight the Maxim wins. No, they're going to fall back. Maybe, actually, it seemed to be doing really good damage to that Maxim, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong. We've got at least one light field gun. Do we have two? No, just the one for now. And Panzer Fusiliers representing the mainline infantry. Only one Volk squad. The Panzer Fusiliers, they are suppressed. Where are they suppressed? Here, being suppressed by the Quad 50. And the 222 is actually just going to be able to poke that away, and I really like that. 222 actually being a viable counter to a very powerful Soviet unit. It's really cool. Pardon me. And there's just so much action. I haven't even got it all on the screen, but this is the main meat of the action going on here. As the Lig is flumping rounds in, the Jagdpanzer is going to go for another dive, and I think this time he feels fairly safe, because he's seen the fuel investments pretty much from both players, and no unit can really threaten the Jagdpanzer, so it's going to be down to Zisses and Guards to get the job done. And that's a sort of slightly softer anti-tank counter, so he feels confident taking a dive. Doesn't really get any targets though, and if we look at the veterancy on this Jagdpanzer, it's still pretty low. And the Jagdpanzer, as I've said before, although not on this video, is a unit which changes, it takes on a different character as it veterans up. It gains abilities and almost becomes a different unit, and it becomes very dominant. If you get it up to, I think, each star of veterancy is really crucial actually. The first one lets you go invisible, the second one gives you some massive durability upgrades, and I think perhaps, is it accuracy or rate of fire? I believe it gives you rate of fire at 2-star. Durability, no, so it's sighting. Oh, that's right, it lets you see really far. Oh, these bombs grenadiers are going to get mowed down. So, anyway, yeah, basically, that Jagdpanzer, a unit that wants to look for veterancy wherever it can. A little bit of salvaging being done here, and I like that, just playing for all the fuel he can get. The Allied players unable to take advantage of that moment there by firing at the Storm Pioneers, so that's pretty cool. I mean, that's 5 fuel, and you're also destroying a weapon team, you know, an object on the floor which your opponents probably would have liked to have picked up. Wow, just that lag, getting good hits. These LMG-42 Grenadiers are going to force the guards back. One rather suspects, yes. Oh, and the lag taking another man off the squad. But, I mean, the Axis forces have won the battle, and they're falling back, they're just repairing. Both teams repairing rearming. Axis forces have won the battle. They've seen their enemies from the field, but that's only the middle of the map, and it took all their units to do so. So there are basically no units for any player up in the north, but the victory point remains in Allied hands. And there are basically only a squad of conscripts in a building to the south, and the point remains in Allied hands. So despite taking a convincing fight and pushing relatively close to their opponent's base, inflicting some losses, even salvaging some units, taking a dive with the Jagdpanzer, all good stuff. But it's the Axis team who are losing victory points. So, is it worth it? Yeah, you definitely want to win the fight. That's really cool. And now they have the advantage, but they need to split some forces off. Send some north, send some south. Sorry, take care of business. As the second Schwerer of a Max Schlepper here, going to deploy into the Schwerer Panzer HQ. So that's you know, that's a straightforward choice. So how much fuel are we floating now for SturmTiger? 61. So it looks like, I imagine he'll save for a Panther. I reckon he'll probably save for a Panther. Panther's really strong in 2v2s. There's enough targets, and they're always going to be useful. They're fast and durable enough that even the forces of 2 players sometimes can't bring them down, because you can just retreat. He could go for a Panzer IV. That would arrive nice and early and represent a lot of pressure. Both units complement this Jagdpanzer very well, so we'll see what he goes for. Hey, you know what? He could go for a Loops. That's like an immediate benefit, and that would totally turn the middle of the map. Although, 2 squads of guards, I don't know, they could probably ping a loop down quite heavily. Wow. And we have a Panzerwerfer here, going to take some shots. Not the best. A defensive volley there. I think I would have preferred holding on to that and waiting, because the infantry from the overcommand player SturmTiger were pushing up, and they are going to reveal some targets. So let's imagine that he hadn't fired that barrage and he puts it like here. He probably gets a maximum and might chip in some damage on 1 or 2 vehicles, although in actual case he would have gotten out of the vehicles. But anyway, I just think that there were better opportunities coming on down the line. Epic micro, but in a 2v2, this scout car, this 222 scout car is alive. Wow, try saying that. In a 2v2, the 222 scout car is still alive. Yeah. Anyway. It's a testament there to Kreatir's micro. It's pretty cool. 17, coming up to the 18-minute mark, and it's still alive. And here we have some serious fuel investment for the Allies. It's a Jackson, and I know it's called a Jackson, but I call it a Jackson, and I don't know why, but all my friends and me, we call it a Jackson, so that's what it is. It's a Jackson. And that is going to force the Jagdpanzer back. He's going to want to repair that. Wow, he doesn't want it there. It'll be stuck here. He wants to bring it forward and just reverse it through this gap, because that is a risky position. That is, like, stuck in the mud, pretty much. Oh, and Storm Pioneers getting taken out by a grenade. So, actually, the forces of SturmTigerJay looking a little bit depleted. He's down to 4 infantry squads, and they're good squads, but they can't actually affect a vehicle very significantly. I mean, they have the anti-vehicle rifle grenade, but I don't think it'll be enough. And he also doesn't have the Storm Pioneers or the forward mechanized position to repair this Jagdpanzer, which is still in a precarious position, so... Oh, and that's the sound of Katushka. Oh no! And that is landing in a fantastic place. Seems like no... Oh no, he got the lag, so that's 1 squad down. Is he going to get this MG? Nearly. Wow. So a Katushka, it's really good. It's really good in 2v2s. It's really good generally, but I really like the choice here, because you can just keep raining fire on these Vermax Schleppers, and that makes it hell on earth for your opponent, who's falling back wounded squads there, retreating, trying to repair and rearm, trying to reinforce the squads, and, you know, that's when you fire the Katushka and get a ton of squad wipes, and it's just like, it is sad times for Overcommand players everywhere. Some action in the north has occurred, which I wasn't covering. Squad of Pioneers and Panzer Fusiliers going to be able to take back the victory point. They're going to skirmish here, probably going to come across and force back these Engineers, which is pretty much the only squad in the north section of the map for the Allies. So, and meanwhile, in the south of the map, these conscripts still holding strong. This victory point still unopposed. Although, coming off to take the cut-off point are these Pioneers, and with the scout car, I suspect that they could, if they wanted to, displace those conscripts and take the southern victory point. So keep an eye on the minimap and see if these 2 units here do that next. Important to note... Oh no, sorry, my bad. Nope, ignore me. And so, Storm Pioneers needed. Where are they? They have been built. They're on their way, just entering the map now, though. So it's going to be a long while. He needs to borrow some Pioneers from the Vermac player, because it stresses me. It worries me having this Jagdpanzer on this low of health. And here comes a motor car. Another good choice for the American player. This is going to start putting on the pain, immediately getting a kill and a lot of damage onto that unit. The rate of fire on the motor carriage, decent. And those shells, they look unimpressive. They look like about the same as a Ligue shell, but they are far more destructive. You get squad wipes all the time with that thing. It is just a fantastic unit. And because it's not super expensive, it actually veterans up quite fast. And here comes another Katushka barrage, and look at the saturation here. He's attacking the truck, which is a good target. No, he's attacking about here, I think. That is a good target. I think if he had eyes here, he would have chosen just here. But still going to get some dudes. That is just carnage. Where is that Katushka? Did it get to that one? No. 2/3 of the way there now, though. 9 kills on that Katushka. Got a skirmish up in the north, as the Panzer Fusiliers and the Pioneers getting taken on by a squad of guards. But the flamethrower on these Pioneers is actually probably going to be enough to take that, and it is. Some riflemen here, they should be enough to force that back, and I wonder if we're going to see a squad wipe on these Panzer Fusiliers. That will be bad times. That will be bad times for the overcommand player SturmTigerJay. I think he just gets out. That is a lucky escape. The motor car just still chipping in damage, maxing here. Oh, and a call-in being used now. Which call-in could this be? Why? It's the light artillery barrage. Wow, but the allied players, the awareness is there immediately, well, nearly immediately, moving his vehicle, getting the squad out of there, saving the Maxim, and getting the motor carriage out of there, sorry, the motor carriage out of there with minimal damage on it. The allied forces, though, have taken the middle victory point. These Fusiliers need to come and grab this. Because at the moment, the Axis team are losing points. And they're actually just, what, 20 points ahead? No, 20... Why can't I do maths today? I can only do maths, like, all the time. It's really bizarre. 12 plus 5... 17. So they're 17 points behind. Now 19. And, yeah, and even the North victory point now falling into the hands of the Allies. And with this Jackson and the motor carriage, I mean, the Jagdpanzer is just repaired, but I suspect that it was the fact that it wasn't repaired which is what allowed the Allies to gain control of this middle area, by having, of course, the motor carriage parked in this region, the Jackson nearby to support. Here comes another strike, another light artillery barrage coming down here, and that's going to be a good dodge from the American player. He loses one man, and the Katushka is firing again. The rounds have got to be landing around here, right? Oh my goodness, the concentration immediately killing several guys. And dealing damage to the building. The Katushka achieves itself level 1 veterancy, which I believe means it can... No, it gets the creeping barrage. Okay. How many munitions does that cost? 45. Wow, pretty expensive. But Russian players usually have a lot of surplus munitions, am I right? No, he's on 72, right, whatever. So these Grenadiers gonna lose that fight, but a Panther here, and that's a Vermac Panther, isn't it? Yes, that's a Vermac Panther. So that one, only available to go to 3 stars of veterancy on this one, but a damn potent unit nonetheless. And you know it's the beginning of the late game. Oh my goodness, you know what, I think we need to just appear offline there. Lol. Anyway, let's see, what do we got here? This is a T-3485, good to see, and I suspect it's been poked back by the Jagdpanzer and the Pack Gun, so it's down to about half health at the moment. That's a Jackson, which kind of doesn't want to be there, I think. It's looking the wrong way, and it gets destroyed by the Jagdpanzer. Oh my, and the Panther coming in from the north. This is quite the swing now. The Jagdpanzer is going to come in for the dive, and the Panther, they're going to find the motor car. Of course they're going to find the motor car. Yeah, motor car is dead for days. And here come the tank hunters. Getting some hits initially onto the Panther. More hits there. Not doing very much though, that second set of hits. As the Axis armor is going to GTFO. Flak half-track here is going to provide some cover for them. Do they have any other anti-air? Just the LMG-42 on top of this pintle mount on the Panther. We've got a Quad 50, a squad of engineers who are clearly up to no good. They're probably laying mines in all sorts of places. And some conscripts in this building. So the Allies pretty much have cemented the south now. Panther was thinking about having a prod, and the Katushka firing again. Oh, is it going to be hitting here? No, it's hitting the building, but that's still brutal times. Oh man, Katushkas are such issues for overcommand. Love it. What a choice. Up to two and a third level veteran. Sorry, one and 1/3 levels of veterancy on that unit now. So pretty brutal. Some allied forces making an attack up to the north. Only a squad of grenadiers here to try and turn them aside, and it's not going to be enough. And MG42 though has the point covered. I think that will be enough actually. I think that will be enough to stop the allied forces from taking it. Axis force is going to come in to take a dive in mid. These Panzer Fusiliers becoming quite veteran now, up to 3 stars. That's pretty cool. Good to see. The Jagdpanzer still repaired. It's going to try and find the T-34, and I think it will. Or is it firing at the half track? Not quite sure, but either way, these are units that don't want to be here. Oh, I don't know though, actually. This T-34-85 could flank it. You know, I actually saw a T-34-85 just last weekend, and they are massive. The turret on that thing is just imposing. It's like, it's pretty intimidating. I mean, yeah, it's a tank, it's intimidating anyway. But I mean, there were other tanks there that day, and the T-34-85 looked big. Anyway. Jackson, second Jackson now, coming out to the north. So, it's not going to find any armour up there immediately. Most of the armour is either being repaired or to the south at the moment for the Axis. Skirmish here in mid is some Panzer Grenadiers with Shreks. Going to try and get a bundle grenade onto the Maxim, and they are no fallback forthcoming, so that's going to kill half of them. Whoa, so many squads of infantry. Massive firefight going on here. But I think the upper hand just about going to the Allies as the superior firepower of these riflemen. And they've got the, what's the cool gun called? The M1919 A6 LMG. They've got those, which are pretty potent. Oh wow, but the Panzerwaffe, whoa, getting a squad wipe. Oh, brutal. Oh, you've got to feel like that was slightly unlucky for the American player. Katushka must be ready. Yep, barrage is ready, so it's going to come back in. There are a lot of nice targets here. We've got a flat half track. That is just what? I mean, I kind of like it because it locks down this point, provides suppression. It's very good anti-infantry. You just don't often see them built in what is pretty much the early late game now, or maybe even late game proper. Really, yeah. I mean, it pretty much is. Where are those Katushka rounds landing? Oh, he's just constantly focusing down the medical HQ. Cool. Well, I mean, he'll get that if he keeps it up. So fair enough. This Panther, now fully repaired, and needs to get out there and start doing some good, because it's been off the front lines now for some time. Just chilling. This is the Sturm Tiger. Up to 4 stars now on the Panzer Fusiliers, but there's a grenade! Oh, they're down to 1 man. I think that this could be the end of a very veteran unit, possibly. No, they're going to fall back, but there's a chance here. Is the Jackson going to get him? No, because the Jackson has more pressing priorities. Ugh, the damage on that Jackson. As the Jagdpanzer takes a hit there. And here comes the Panther, and now the armour rushes on, and that's a Jackson which is exposed, and you never want your Jackson exposed. The Panther could chase. The Panther could chase. I think he should have chased. He realises, but it's too late. I think, oh, unless he's going to take a dive for it. He's going to dive for it. I like this. I think it's a good dive. Now get out. You can take 1 hit from this T-34-85, but any more and things start getting sketchy. And a pack gun comes in for the cover. Beautiful pack in a fantastic position, and the Jagdpanzer comes back in. It wants blood. It wants T-34-85 blood, but it's going to expose its flank. 1 more hit, and that thing's going to die. Oh, as a bazooka bounces off the side armour. Let's see if the T-34-85 gets another shot. It does not, and the Jagdpanzer is going to escape. And the Panther cycles in. The Jagdpanzer is taken out. The bazooka's there. Enough. Some frustration from SturmTigerJesper. Seems fair enough. Now that Panther needs repairing. So with the loss of the Jagdpanzer, the armour battle is pretty even. I mean, we've got a T-34-85, that's pretty much it actually, so no, the Panther has that covered. Wow, this quad 50, why is it not firing? Oh, I see, it's being the line of sight blocker here. Too much for the spotters in that vehicle. There we go, now it starts firing, and that should just be brutal damage. I mean, that thing is just heinous, yeah. And a good fallback. Oh, but here comes some Panzer Grenadiers with the double Shrek, and they're going to get into range. There's a shot going there, and they take it, and that is the kill. Such efficient anti-tank are the Panzer Grenadiers with double Shrek. Very nice. What is this? This is a 50 cal, which is going to be suppressing the Allied forces here, but I think with the flank coming in here, that's going to be enough to displace it. MG42 has the central point covered, but it is still going to get decapped. And if we look at the scores, pretty much even, as near as makes no difference, the same scores for those 2 players. It's just 12 tickets in it, sorry, 14 tickets in it. And meanwhile, in the north, an MG42 going to be doing a number on these guards. They're going to have to get down. Although they're not actually getting suppressed. And they are 3-star vets, so I think if they focus on the MG, it's only on 2 men. I think they probably get it. And there's the Panzerwerfer. It's going to fire at the guards. And that is heinous amounts of damage, but not enough. And they're going to get the victory point. And I imagine fall back, yes. Meanwhile, a massive Axis infantry push in mid is going to probably put that victory point back in Axis hands. If we look at the scoreline, again, just a ticket between them now, and so much action going on. I think the one victory point which the Axis players haven't made like any plays for, really, no determined plays, is the southern one. And I think if they were to just like break off a load of dudes and send them down there, they would get it. Now, is that worth it? Because they might lose the middle one. I don't know. That's why 2v2s are so hairy, man. It's difficult times out here. This Panther is just kind of just chewing up. What? He needs to. There we go. Yeah. Now he's turned up because it was set to target vehicles only. And annoyingly, when your tanks are set to target vehicles only, even the machine guns do not fire at infantry. That is something I think Relic need to address because it just seems incongruous with reality and it sort of. It just seems strange and wrong and weird, like some kind of crazy video game bug. I mean, if you've got an MG42 on the top of a tank, it's there to shoot at infantry. Even if your main gun, you're telling your guys to fire at tanks only. So anyway. However, it does add some more skill to the micro aspect of the game, the way things are, so maybe it's intentional by Relic. No idea. They Relic work in mysterious ways. Anyway, this T-3485 up to 1-star veterancy now. And oh, what is this? Is this the creeping barrage? I mean, sorry, not the creeping barrage. Yes, it's the assault artillery. Oh boy, that is heavy. It's very good that it is not landing here. For the allied players, that is. Now this motor carriage is getting hit by some kind of indirect. This half-track actually has no kills and hasn't done a thing, so I think it's been forgotten about. And that is a mistake from SturmTigerJay. He's going to want to just... If it was just behind this building, that would be epic, because like the AT of his opponent couldn't hit it, and it would just be doing constant bludgeoning against infantry in mid. But the north, the Axis forces have retaken the victory point, and there's some paratroopers as well who have been displaced. Don't know how they captured it, wasn't looking, sorry about that. Panzerwerfer up to like 1.5, 1 1/3 levels of veterancy, and now we have a Brumbar. Loving it. Brumbar, it's just satisfying. There's something nice about what is effectively a metal wall with a gun in it that drives forward and blows up infantry, and like it can even have a crack at tanks. It's not so great, but it can do it. And of course, once you get it to level 1, it has the bunker-busting barrage, which is actually decent. And still, nobody seems to expect it. Like, everyone just forgets that the Brumbar has an indirect ability once it gets to, like, veterancy 1. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, these engineers actually now starting to chew into the Axis territory here. They're going to start denying more and more resources and ground control. And that could be a concern as we move forward. Victory points now, only 10 tickets in it as the Katushka starts wailing again, and the Katushka is going to saturate the area where this Brumbar is right now. Quite close to these American troops, so let's be careful, as the Panzerwerfer also firing here. Jeez, so much indirect fire. There's a round from the Brumbar just flumping on in there. But I think ineffective all round, like somehow pretty much all the infantry involved in that situation survived. As these Storm Pioneers are going to clear out a 3-star machine gun, and that is a worthy kill. Yeah, they get it. And a grenade is going to miss the Storm Pioneer. Oh, I say that. Some shrapnel gets in the windows, blows down Hans and Franz. Now his two friends, Heinrich and Geinrich, have got to get out of there. No, Geinrich is not a real German name. But whatever. What is that? Is that the lag? Wow, the lag's up to 2 stars now. That's doing some good work. You know what? This is such a bizarre 2v2 because, yeah, there's been skirmishing at the north. Yeah, there's been skirmishing, but not so much at the south. But pretty much, it's just been 4 players throwing all their dudes at this area of screen. And, you know, I guess that's just how 2v2s and how this map play out. But damn, that's it's pretty cool to watch. Ugh. Motor carriage there, just taking some shots. Oh wow, and that's it's this gun, and that is a Brumbar that does not want to be there. Let's check the armor for the Russian player. 241 fuel being floated for the Russian player. He doesn't quite have the manpower to spend it, but he really wants to start spending that. How much unit cap is a T-3485? Let me just quickly go and check. Oh, of course, they come out of the top tier building now, don't they? 130 and... sorry, that's fuel. 14 unit cap, so yeah, he could grab one. And I'd love to see him do that, because one T-3485 is not enough. I think Starling would have agreed with me on that one. Not enough. These engineers have just basically been like owning the south side of the map. They're really cool. They're like just doing work. Doing work. While at the south, the Roombar is going to find itself some guards to flump into. Oh, the blast on those things, so tremendous. Katushka's firing again. Oh, and again! Damn, this Russian player, HappyHeadPopper, has like some kind of sixth sense. Like, well, okay, he doesn't have sixth sense. He has some scouting information. But damn, he's really good at positioning those shots. And we have the Jagdtiger. Pretty much the last word in anti-armor. A good unit, but not one that I have to say I like. I've never really had a lot of success with it. It also has this strange weakness where anytime it gets hit, it gets stunned. Like, because Smoke fills the cabin or something, getting its first kill immediately, picking off a Jackson. This T-3485 is in jeopardy. Not sure I like the positioning on that. Not with the Jagdtiger out here. You just know. Send it to the south, send it to the north. Do not be here, not right now. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. It's not often I get to see this unit on the field, so maybe it's not as good as I'm making out. But what I do know is that it costs 290 fuel, and also is that big. So I mean, and also doesn't hit infantry. So you've got to imagine it's pretty good against tanks. Pretty. Whoa! How did he see that? How did he see that? Oh my goodness! Panzer Fusiliers provide epic line of sight. Oh, that's because they've got the scope Gevers. Increased sight range. The increased sight range on those Gevers just totally killed that. The oh, that's grimy. But we do have a Katushka firing, and it's going to keep hammering the battle group headquarters, which hasn't been repaired actually. So that's a building which could die. How annoying would it be if it died? Quite, in fairness. Because there would be no more reinforcing or healing, and that would weaken the Axis player's position in the middle considerably. In fact, you know what? It's probably only because they've got this forward, fallback, and heal position here that they've been able to maintain such dominance over the middle. Simply because every time they fall back, they've got to just come back to here, and then their forces are ready, and they can come back. The Allied players, they've got to get them all the way back there. And because I haven't seen a major for the American player, have I? Have I seen a major? I have seen a major. Yes, the major is here, but that's not very far forward. Actually, he needs to push that whole installation to like here, because he's too far back. The major there only providing like this much distance if you look at the minimap's benefit, and he could be providing more. I know it's risky, but I think you've got to go for it, because at the moment you're totally winning. So what do I know? Actually, now that I look at the scores, whatever. 102 tickets in the lead. It's all cool. So yeah, cool. Awareness for the win. Storm Pioneers here, going to grab this southern victory point. Allies also in command of the Allies, sorry, are in command of the northern victory point. These guards are doing good work. This MG42 team, oh, it's a 50 cal team. Not in a position to catch them. Is that Katushka firing again that I can hear? Has he got two Katushkas? No, just the one. Wow, the increased rate of fire there at 2-star vet. 34 kills on that thing. Oh goodness me, these squads need to. They're going to start repairing the building. I think if that barrage was targeted here, that would have got the building. In fact, it certainly would have. The SturmTiger just taking some hits. Those guys. HappyHeadPopper's really happy about something. What could that be? He's saying yes. Don't know. Clearly something cool happened. Quiet moment here, but the Axis forces now worryingly far behind and hemorrhaging tickets at 3 per. 3 per tick, so that means that they don't actually have long. They're going to need to push. They are really going to need to push. And they've got the northern one, so that's phase 1. They're going to start getting the southern, but there's a Maxim. That's going to be annoying. What kind of grenades do these guys have? Just Model 24. And... hey, Broombar, where are you going? There's a building that needs flumping here. You're our man for that. Damn it. Oh well. Up to the 2 T-3485s, as I hoped, is the Soviet player. Has been for some time, but just bringing that to your attention in case you hadn't noticed. Which is, if you ask me, the right number. Bit of an armour battle here, as the Panther's going to take on and probably destroy a T-3485, which has engine damage. That is now a stricken unit, I would say. But never underestimate the gun on this thing. It is able to penetrate, especially at that range. Now the Panther's fighting at the right range, yeah. You don't want to get too close to the T-3485s, they can really get through Panther armour. The Jagdtiger, a little bit exposed, just going to back on out. I think it's hard enough to take a bit of a beating and get out. Where's the infantry support though? You know what have you seen? Is the Katushka, oh, the Katushka's angling for a barrage, is it? No, I don't know. Because if it takes a shot here right now, that could be crucial. There are wounded squads, the building's on low health, it could catch them. Oh yeah, he's remembered that the flak half-track is a unit he has. It's moving. Wow, it's nearly got a level of veterancy. Wow, cool. Pardon me. Brumbar coming back up into the middle of the map. Looks like the Allies just, sorry, the Axis forces just saying, nope, you know what, you can have the south, whatever. We're going to take the north and the middle, and that's how we're not going to lose. That's the plan, right? And the flak half-track getting a kill on as this gun, brutalising the crew. Good work as the Panther comes back in to stalk the stricken T-34-85. Oh, there's an unlucky miss for the Soviet player. Turning his frontal armour on. Oh, and an unlucky miss for the Axis player. Both of them just missing each other. Action going on in mid, but I don't want to miss the outcome of this tank battle as the Panther goes down to half health, but it does get the kill, and with that, it's got to reverse out, and it does. Back to the action at mid. The other T-34-85 has its gun destroyed and has a Zis gun in its rear armour. Surely a dead tank. Oh, that is just, oh, so unfortunate for the Soviet player. I did not see those tanks just refuse to die. Nice. I think Jesper a little frustrated with the Panther now. But yeah, that T-34-85, I didn't quite see how it got into that situation, but that is pretty much, that is all of the armour, in fact, for the Soviet player destroyed. Let's take a look at the American player. The Allies have no armour. Not at this point. It's not to say that they don't have vehicles, they've got an ambulance and a Katushka, but they don't have armour. In fact, if we look at the top left and the top right, so let's look at the Allied the Axis forces. Good mix, lots of units, tons of dudes. Allied forces, not so much. Just becoming a little bit fatigued from combat. Just losing the odd squad here and there, losing their fuel investments. But, you know, HappyHeadPopper has enough fuel to order at least one more tank. He's already ordered one, so he has enough to replace both of the T-34-85s that he lost, and I believe that's a Sherman we have on the build for the American player. So, all far from lost for the Allies, who are way ahead on score. So if they can just get out 2 more T-34-85s and the Sherman, push for the win, achieve what, they would need about a minute and 20 seconds worth of dominance, a minute and 30 seconds worth of dominance on the victory points. That's if they had all 3 of them, actually. If they only have the 1, then they'll take a lot longer. Sorry, well, if they only have 2 of the 3 victory points, so they're killing the Axis team at 1 per team, it'll take a lot longer. But whatever. I mean, they've pretty much got South in the bag. I just can't see the Axis players ever deciding to take that on. And the Katushka just firing again. Dangerous position here. No scouting to tell it what's coming out of that funnel more. Oh, but achieving good hits. You know what? He's been continuously hitting this location, except when he'd had it down to a pixel of health, and then he attacked this location, so he missed the opportunity to kill that building. He couldn't have known that, I don't think. He doesn't know what health that building's on, and he doesn't know that it's not being repaired or when it's being repaired. But it's just interesting to note that the crucial barrage that would have destroyed the building actually was sent elsewhere, and that's enabled a repair to occur, which means that the Katushka now has a lot more health that it has to chew through on that building. And we have a light artillery call-in being used on the central point here, just to stop the opponent taking it. And we're in that super late phase of the game now, where you'll sacrifice units, munitions, call-ins, anything, just to hold a victory point for for another few seconds when you're down on 47 tickets under 203. And as things continue and the situation gets more desperate for both sides, you'll see some pretty crazy exchanges made just to control a victory point for a short amount of time. Because all that matters at the end of the game is going to be these tickets. Neither team going to completely just ravage the other, so... Oh dear, the Sherman versus the Panther. The Panther's rear armour is exposed, so he needs to get out. Maybe consider using Blitz. Why is he staying and fighting? Your rear armour is showing. That's a T-34-85. It's no joke, buddy. The damage on that's pretty extreme. Was that a shot from the Jagdtiger? Damn, that range. Just thundering on in there. Come on, Panther. Just find your way out of here. It's 3-star vet now. You don't want to lose that. Come on. What does it get? So 1-star gets Blitzkrieg, 2-star gets armoured skirts and improved tracking, 3-star gets mobility and rate of fire. So pretty much your quintessential epic tank, that. These units, I think the Sherman should just pop its crew out and start repairing if it isn't already. I can hear a Katushka firing again. Choosing to hit the flak track. No, choosing to hit just south of the flak track, which awkwardly is actually this little bubble here that's being hit. Okay, there was a falling back squad of which 2 men were chewed up. But really there's nothing here, so that's kind of an awkward barrage there. A lot of Axis infantry out here. How many squads of Panzer Fusiliers are we up to now, and how much veterancy do they have? 4 squads, 5, 4, 1, 0 the veterancy. So, a pretty decent mainline force, and really nice to see Panzer Fusiliers used as the frontline forces instead of Volksgrenadiers. Totally changes the dynamic for the overcommand forces. Oh wow! Brumbar! getting a vehicle kill, I think, or did it just shatter the remains of the already destroyed vehicle after the Jagdtiger took it? Can't be sure on that one. Can't be sure. But either way, an allied vehicle meeting its demise there. Still no attempt to go to the south of the map by the Axis. But I think that they've just decided that their game plan is to hold the middle and the top. But that game plan is beginning to fail them. Because these conscripts and these guards are taking the middle position. Where's the Brumbar? Where's the Brumbar? I'll find the Brumbar in just a second. I just want to see if this point gets captured. A grenade is used on the Storm Officer and he is vaporized. And these guards, with some rifleman assistance, this victory point should be taken. I mean, they're low on men, they're low on health, but incendiary rounds being used on this MG42, which has them in arc, but it's not firing at them, and so they're going to take the point. Every time they take this point, the Axis forces have to decapture it, and that takes like 3, 4, 5 tickets off their score, as the Katushka does not want this MG to be a thing anymore. But it's not going to get him. Super unlucky. This Jagdtiger just taking mad shots. Just move, get out of there, run. Okay, yeah, T-3485 does get out of there. While the Panther... What? That thing is pretty fast when you use Blitz. Wow. Ooh. That Jagdtiger. It's so rare that I see a Jagdtiger being used well. Get the T-3485 out there. It does not win a fight, not head on against a Panther, especially not a 3-star one. And that is a dead T-3485. Yeah. Yeah, it is. The other one being repaired. That one was sort of hung out to dry. It just needed a reverse move. That's all it needed. Just get out of there. If the Panther pursues, it does so at its own risk. So, you know. But the Axis forces are actually pushing forward into this sector now. And this is getting quite close to the Allied. Yeah, see where they're repairing their tanks, where they're trying to reinforce their men. The quarter-ton ambulance is down. The other tank is down. And Kreatir, cocky, says GG. HappyHeadPopper. It is his first game together. Kreatir says it was a nice game. Oh, these guys are so nice. Ooh, the Jagdtiger just damn. Okay, I'm convinced. It's a good unit. Whatever. If I had any doubts about it, it's good. And with that, the Allied forces are gonna surrender, and you can't blame them. Although they've still got quite quite a cushion of score, they have no tanks. They have no answer for the armour of the Axis players, and they just fell short. 43 tickets, all that was in it. Such a cruel game, as Company of Heroes sometimes. Such a cruel game. So yeah, wow, an interesting and hectic 2v2 there. I'm sure I missed like loads of the most important moments, but you know, I did my best to cover everything, and I'll do some more 2v2s as time goes on, hopefully get better at them. I'm not really sure, they're not like, I'm not like the most at home casting 2v2s, but you know, that's what practice is for. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to SturmTigerJay for sending in this replay. Really appreciate it. Of course, if you guys out there have any replays you'd like me to take a look at, please send them in to magpiereplays@gmail.com. That, once again, is magpiereplays@gmail.com. So, yeah, thank you all once again, and this is Magpie842 signing out.